These are two wonderful paintings by Muriel Richie, who is active in the first 3 decades of the 20th century here in Westfield. She was married to Dr. Morris Richie and came to Westfield with him. She grew up on the North Shore, studied art in Gloucester and a couple of other towns along the North Shore, and then came out to Westfield when she married. And her style reflects both the training she received through artists in the North Shore area, and also the influence of Impressionism and Modernism that was of course, very important to artists in this time period. These paintings are paintings that she did a number of paintings of dock workers and seascapes, because she would go back to the North Shore and paint there. And so we actually have in the collection here at the Athenaeum several of her paintings that she did in the Gloucester area. But these two paintings were done around here. This is kind of a rural scene in Westfield, and this is a small New England town. It's not identified as to what town it is, but it probably is a town somewhere in Western Mass, maybe one of the hill towns. We're not certain about that, but that's what we think. Her style, what she does is she uses the brushstroke style that of course originated with the Impressionists. The Impressionists were very interested in showing the effects of light reflecting off an object. That's how we see the world around us, is we see light reflecting off that, and the Impressionists became very interested in studying that. And so they developed a brushstroke style where the brushstrokes are actually visible. You can see the brushstroke. And that's a way, and that's a way for the Impressionists to reflect, to show light reflecting off an object. She was also influenced by the Modernists that came around the next generation, right after Impressionism. They took the brushstroke style of the Impressionists and went even further with it. They made it even, many sometimes bigger, more pronounced, even than the Impressionists. And they developed, and many times they would use texture to build up kind of extra paint on the canvas, to give it kind of a rough surface, because that gives a certain effect as well. And you can really see that in this area here. She really has built up the surface with a lot of different paint colors. Also, too, abstraction was coming into use at this time, and you can see if you just looked at a section like this, or maybe a section right here, you can see how the brushstroke style here creates almost an abstract effect. So abstract, even though this is a painting of a realistic scene, it's a representation of what artists call a representational work of art. She's using techniques that came out of abstraction to develop this painting. You can see this also with the clothes on the clothesline here. She uses very, very thick paint to separate this from the background, to give it a different sense in the background. The same thing on this painting. You can see, like in this area here, it's almost an abstract painting in itself, because the brushstroke style is very, very loose. So she was a very, very innovative artist at that time. She was very active at the Westfield Athenaeum. In 1927, a new wing was added to the Athenaeum, and part of that wing was the creation of an art gallery, a beautiful art gallery space. And Muriel Richie, along with several other artists that were active in Westfield at this time, became very active in showing exhibits at the Rand Art Gallery in the 1920s and 1930s. So we're very excited with this show, Untold Stories, The Treasures of the Westfield Athenaeum. We're very excited to include these Richie paintings, some of them that haven't been shown in many, many years. So we're very happy to include these in the exhibit.